Holy cow, you guys, it is 4 o'clock in the morning and we were awakened by a very, very large boom, and the RV behind us, travel trailer behind us, flames are coming out of the top of it. The fire department's been called, they are on their way. Everybody is out of the trailer. There was just a man and his dog in the trailer, and they got out safely. Not sure what happened. We currently have no electricity in the park either. So not sure if this was an electrical thing, but the boom, wherever it came from, was big enough to wake me up from a sound sleep. That is too big to attempt to put out ourselves for sure, and the fire department suggested that we do not attempt to put that out. Well, that is growing very quickly. Wow, the fire's out. Burnt RVs do not smell good. We're checking things out now. As we mentioned, there was a guy and his dog in the RV. They did get out safely. They are fine. But wow, thanks to the Arapahoe County Fire Department, Rescue, and Sheriff are out here, but they got here incredibly quickly and got this thing out really, really quick. Luckily, the sites here are really far apart, so no other RVs were in danger. But you can see the top of the roof of that thing is totally gone. Our friends are starting to arrive off camera, so of course, what better thing to go with a Low Country boil than an ice cold beer, and what better thing to do than cook and have a beer at the same time.
Oh, you're beautiful.
We're coming at you real time from what we're calling Studio Kitchen.
Oh, Studio Kitchen. I like
that.
that. We make food, we make videos. Yeah, Studio Kitchen.
It feels like we're doing the news.
It does. It does feel like we're doing
So what we wanted to do is bring you up to speed on what happened with the trailer burning. So turns out we were in Cherry Creek State Park in Aurora, which is just outside of Denver, and there was an accident outside of the park which took out the transformer which supplied power to the whole park, which was the initial boom that woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then about 2 minutes after that boom, there was the other boom. And turns out what it was that gentleman's propane electric refrigerator switching over from electric to propane. So you got the tick, 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 boom, and not the tick, boom you kind of wanted. So very fortunate, he got out, his dog got out, everything was fine. His rig was a total loss, but it really made us think about our preparedness for a situation like that.
And let's be clear, I am not going to be very prepared for a situation like that because I slept through this for the most part. And I do have a history of sleeping through fires. I had one when I was a kid, like right across the street from my bedroom window. I had no idea. The thing just went up in flames and I was still sleeping. But luckily, Rich is a lighter sleeper. And so we wanted to be prepared if anything similar happens around us or even happens to our rig, because you don't know. I mean, he didn't know that there was obviously something wrong with the switching between the propane and the electric.
No, and obviously for him, it was a very unfortunate circumstance. The accident caused that to happen and the loss of power, but obviously there was an issue, and I think for him it was a matter of not if that was going to happen, but when it was going to happen for him, because obviously there was some sort of fault.
Right, and so we just want to be as prepared as possible. So we know we have a good surge protector, so we kind of started our thought process there. We've got that's critical to have. And then we thought about fire extinguishers. Well, what happens if there's a fire in this part of the rig and we need to push back the flames and so we can get out? So we bought some more fire extinguishers. One's going to go in the bedroom. But other than that, I mean, just regular maintenance, making sure the rig is in good running order. It's about all we can do, and then have some preparation if something does happen. And luckily, we were in the Cherry Creek State Park. All the sites are very far apart, so no other rigs were ever in danger of being damaged. But you never know. You could be in a park that, the rig next to you blows up, and you're right there like a stone's throw away. And so what are you going to do? Not to scare anybody. I mean, life is scary, not just RV living. There can be issues. So we just want to be as prepared as possible.
And I want to make it clear, when we called 911 to report the fire, the 911 operator said, do not attempt to put that fire out yourself. So when we talk about purchasing other fire extinguishers,
We're not firefighting.
and we're putting one in the bedroom, it's really to not to put out a fire unless it's a very small fire,
Right, yeah.
but it's really to get you out of your rig safely and just kind of push back flames if you need to do that. So in our bedroom now is not only a fire extinguisher but a flashlight as well. So if it's if it's in the middle of the night, you can see what's going on around you. So unfortunate incident for sure, but it made us kind of think of our own situation and what can we do to not really save the rig, but save ourselves. Because
save ourselves.
Everything here is replaceable.
Everything's replaceable but you and I. And it was not something I expected to happen as a extremely newbie RVer a few weeks in. It was surprising. It was a little bit shocking. I mean, it didn't scare me to my core or anything, but it made me more aware. And so now I'm like, okay, this happened. I mean, I didn't expect it this soon, but we got it out of the way. We're good to go. So I think we can check the box on rig fires nearby in a campground and move on. Hopefully there will not be another one. Hopefully nothing happens to anybody else like that. But I am very happy he got out. I'm really surprised because when Rich said, the rig blew up, and I'm like, oh my God, the poor, whoever was in there, him and his dog got out, it was fine. And what was so surprising, when I saw the flames and everything, 2 days later they had moved the rig to the front of the campground, and I thought the whole thing was going to be completely
much
burned.
of it was still intact.
It was very surprising.
It was really the slide that had the refrigerator, which when we say the rig blew up, the refrigerator blew up.
Yeah, we heard there was an explosion sound, and but it's probably a total loss anyways. But I'm glad he got out and all was good. And we are much more prepared now. So when all this went down, all the power in the park went out, and we work all day every day. I have my computer. I need AC power. DC's not going to cut it, and luckily we had a generator that kind of ran us all day. But that power was out for 8 hours, and that also opened my eyes to okay, this isn't going to be all smooth sailing. You're going to have backup plans and possibly some backup plans to the backup plans. And the generator was our backup plan. And the other thing I'm considering is getting a backup power source so I don't, so like everything, screens don't go black, you lose whatever you're working on.
Whatever you're working on.
Yeah,
exactly.
If it happened while I was working. I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. I don't know if I want to do that. And if you have that and you find that it works well, let us know in the comments below because I'm really on the fence about that backup power source.
And if you have one that you love, let us know what it is so we can get one too.
Yes.
I think power outages probably aren't as big of a deal for most of the people out there, but when you're two computers running a business full time, 40 plus hours a week, the potential power outage is a big deal.
Yeah, it was. And then I freaked out at first, and then Rich is like, we have a generator. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, generator. So all was good. But if it was really, really hot outside, it would have been problematic too.
Because the generator that we have is really just for emergencies. It's 3,000 watts, so it will run one air conditioner pretty consistently. But it won't run your air conditioner and your microwave and both your computers. So it's really to get us by bare bones and just at least make sure we can continue to operate.
Right. It's really just to run my computer.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've been in the rig about 4 weeks now. Getting organized, getting rid of the house.
Getting rid of the house. The house had such a hold on us, and it wasn't the house itself, it was all the stuff in the house. So we learned a very, very valuable lesson. And if you are downsizing and leaving a house and you have lots of furniture that you're either not putting in storage or want to get rid of, what is the moral of the story that we learned?
It's going to take more time than you think, and your stuff is not worth what you think it's worth, for
Even
sure.
if you sell it at half of what you think it's worth, people are going to be like, oh yeah, I want it, and they say, I'll be here at 2, and then they never show up, and then over and over. And then if you give it away, they're still going to say, I'll be here at 2, and then they never show up.
Right.
So basically what we learned is people did not want our stuff. And we had kind of planned it all. It's like we gave ourselves about a week and a half to get rid of all the furniture we weren't putting in storage, which we hardly put anything in storage actually. And it'd be like, oh yeah, people come get it. We put it on Facebook Marketplace, it'll be gone. We'll make a little bit of money. It'll be great. Yeah. No, poor Rich. He's the one who handled it over like 3 or 4 days, and the stress level was so high. And then here we are at the last day, that before the next day the junk people were coming, which we had a really good experience with them, and we didn't want to have couches and mattresses and all this stuff because it would have cost well over $1,000 just for them to
get
take
rid
it.
of our stuff.
And so we were starting to freak out because we only planned on a very small amount. And so we decided that at the end of that evening, it was a Friday evening, we took everything we still had. There was a couch, there were chairs, there was all this stuff. We put it on the driveway, and then Rich went on to, what is it?
So I found an organization called freecycle.org, which is a community group where you can give stuff away. So we put it all out in the driveway, and I put a post up on FreeCycle on Friday evening, and by Saturday morning, every darn thing was gone.
Everything. They didn't even leave any trash. It was gone. It was like nothing had ever been out there. We were so excited. And if it wasn't for that, that saved us probably $500-600 of having
easy.
The junk people take it away. So again, the moral of the story is don't wait to the last week and a half. Give yourself probably much more time than that. Start selling things slowly. We did have a couple pieces we sold that people actually came and bought them and showed up, which was great. But yeah, we learned, we really underestimated that. And so if we can tell you not to do that and it saves you some stress and time, that's good.
Yeah, so if you're looking to downsize and go full-time RVing and you're getting rid of a house or a home, there's really essentially 5 piles you're going to be making. And that is the charity pile, the trash pile, the sell it pile, the put it in storage pile, and finally
take it with you
put it in your rig pile. So that's one of the things that kind of added some stress to that. We really waited till kind of the very end. Now we had started moving stuff into the rig once we took delivery and things like that. But give yourself, we had 4 weeks to do it. Well, we really started about half of that 4 weeks in, so it really was 2 weeks. Give yourself more time for that, for sure, for all of those piles and getting rid of things.
Well, to our defense, we concentrated more on bringing stuff to the rig because it was really hard to, I mean, that's a lot of piles to have lying around a house. So we figured we'll get everything into the rig, and then we'll have it'll be more easy, it'll be easier to organize the stuff that was left. And so that's what pushed us back to a week and a half to 2 weeks, we're barely even 2 weeks out to get rid of stuff. So I think that's where we would say don't, try not to do that. We're like, well, we still got to use the couch. We don't want to get it, to get rid of it too soon. So we learned some valuable lessons. And like I said, just give yourself more time than you think. I'd say what, 30-50% more time or 100% more time?
Yeah, well, I would say 2 months, and then give yourself a month crunch time to get rid of everything. But we're in.
It worked out.
We're 4 weeks in. We've got everything into the rig. We've been spending our time finishing up all those details, saying goodbye to friends and family, starting to get the rig organized. Amazon's been our best friend so far. We have lots of little goodies that we want to show you in the future as we get the rig organized. But for now, we are drinking a wine, cheers, from one of our new favorite Denver wineries, Spero Winery, which was one of our very first Harvest Host experience. So let's take you back into the video and show you our Spero experience, wrap up the house, and then we'll actually get back on the road, and we'll see you guys next week. We're here at our first Harvest Host, surprisingly right in the middle of
the suburbs of Denver.
The suburbs of Denver. And it's a winery, Spero Winery. So it's been 16 days since we've been on the road, and you can probably hear the wind. It has been windy every single day.
Yes, every single day. 30, 40 mile an hour gusts most of the time. Yeah, it's been fun.
So we're here at the winery. We're going to have an open house. We're going to have some friends that are going to say goodbye to us here in Denver before we get out on the road. So we're about to head up and check out the winery. Come along with us.
Come on.
Inside this very unassuming barn is where the magic happens. Look at all of these awards. And we've been in Denver I've been in Denver for 15 years. Victoria's been in Denver for 25 years plus. And we didn't even know that these guys were here. Look at the tasting room. is absolutely lovely. What are you trying?
This is the Syrah, which typically I love a Syrah, and I do like this as well.
So Victoria and I need to get better at following this mantra. No working during drinking hours. We seem to work all the time, including drinking hours. It's a pretty unassuming entrance. As you turn left into the parking lot, as you drive between the two red barns, don't let this place fool you. This is actually a really, really wonderful harvest host. And surprisingly, there is room for a lot of rigs here at this winery. You can see off to the east there is downtown Denver. You can see you have a bit of a view of the Front Range. And the location of this harvest host is really wonderful. It's close to Golden, Boulder, downtown Denver, almost anything you'd want to do. There is the winery, and the cellar actually is underneath the house there. Now, they don't actually grow grapes on the property, but they do source grapes from Palisade, Pueblo, Colorado. They also source grapes from Lodi, and they also get some grapes from Italy as well to make their wines. There was this semi parked here, and we actually parked close to the semi because we have been under red flag warnings the whole past 2 weeks here in Denver. So we thought maybe this semi would help block the wind, and it did help a little bit. And what we did was we have our Furman 3000 watt generator. And since we're wrapping things up, we have a couple of Blue Rhino propane tanks left over from our barbecue grill at the house. We thought we'd use these up before we turned them in. So we ran our 3000 watt generator here at the Harvest Host in case it was going to rain underneath the semi so the generator wouldn't get wet, and it worked out just perfectly. So we were super happy to, one, have this semi blocking the wind for us, which was gusting to 60 miles per hour in the last day or two that we've been here. And what's cool about this harvest host is they have a huge gravel area back here. And besides ourselves, there is 1, 2, 3 additional rigs here that are staying the night, and you can see, make that 4 additional rigs besides ourselves up there in the front. And as we swing around the back, you could see there's room for an additional even 3, or call it even 4 rigs here. So besides being the only harvest host here in Metro Denver, they have the ability to have, call it 5 or 6 rigs here in their facility, which is really wonderful. So one of the things you'll want to do here if you come stay at Spero Winery for the Harvest Host is bring yourself some snacks and buy yourself a bottle of wine and drink it here in the tasting room. There's a great
hang out.
Yeah, hang out. There's a great, amazing crowd here, and we bought a bottle of what we thought was our favorite wine, was the Cab Franc.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. All of them were great. I think we tried everything, and this was our favorite, even though I would drink any bottle that came from this winery. And just note that the tasting room is only open on Saturdays from noon to 5. So don't come here on a Sunday or a Friday expecting to enjoy the place, because they won't be open. No,
Cheers.
We've spent, what, 2 hours here today?
Yeah, we were here for at least 2 hours, and I will say, do your part, support your local harvest host, and be sure and buy from them. We mixed up a full case of wine.
And then some.
And then some, which they gave us a discount on. If you buy a full case of wine, I think it was 10% off 1 case of wine, 15% off 2 cases of wine. So
And keep your bottles because they'll give you $1 back. Yeah, we know as an RVer it seems weird to keep your bottles. So what we're going to do is, as we're out traveling, if we hear anybody is going to Colorado, we're going to send them back with an empty bottle so they can bring it here and get $1 off. I think it's $1. You just get $1.
$1 a bottle.
Yeah.
That you return.
So just kind of like pay it forward and spread it around because we want to support all the harvest hosts that we can because they're so vital to our RV lifestyle.
Yeah, what's amazing about this harvest host is it literally is in the Denver metro area. It's this little hidden oasis hidden in the city. And there aren't many harvest hosts within the Denver city limits. So it is a great place to park, to have a short drive, to experience everything downtown Denver has to offer. So for sure, do yourself a favor and stay at Spero Winery. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, here we are.
We did it.
The last time we were going to be in this house in Central Park in Denver. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Behind us, this is the kitchen.
The kitchen where we shot 100 cooking videos in that kitchen.
This is the house where we, for the last, how many years? 8 years, raised our son. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be leaving. There's a lot of great memories, but I'm happy. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
time to make new memories for sure.
In 6 days, we will actually leave the state of Colorado. I'm so excited. Then the adventure really begins. Because we're going to be in Nebraska. Oh my God, Nebraska.
And then Michigan. I can't wait to get back to Michigan for the summer.
Yes. The adventure begins.
Bye-bye, Colorado.
We are officially in Nebraska on our way to Kearney or Kearney, or I don't know, Nebraska. I'm going to learn how to pronounce it when I'm there. I'm going to ask the important questions. How in the world do you say the name of this town? Because I don't want to be wrong. It's a wee bit windy out here. Oh my goodness, look at the tractor behind me. How cool is that? That is so cool. Gotta love the wind. Us in the wind these last 5 weeks. Oh my goodness. But it's a warm wind. It's not a chilly wind. So that makes it so much better. In today's news, it was hot and it was humid. And there were gunshots everywhere. Oh, and our stupid microphone died.